Hey guys, welcome back to the Cult Classic Kids Show, and we're already past the point of debating whether Stellar Blade has been censored or not. The game has in fact been censored. Patch 1.2, in fact, does censor the game. Anybody who's like, well, does it affect the gameplay? Then it's not a big deal. Or, well, it's just a couple of outfits, so it's no big deal. You lose. There's no debate to be had. You're conceding to the reality that the game has in fact been censored. Now we have to have a bigger conversation, and this is speculation or alleged, but we have to ask, did Sony set up Stellar Blade? Did Sony indeed sabotage Stellar Blade? We have to ask the question, and the reason why, and let's get into the article, but from Insider Gaming, players are refunding Stellar Blade under the false advertisement claims. The PlayStation Store will seemingly issue a refund for digital copies of Stellar Blade if the reason is for false advertisement. The proof, first posted on Asmongold subreddit, shows a refund being issued, while the image does not state the reason for the refund. The user who posted it says they got it by using false advertising as the reason, and this is the refund image that was presented. They say, this is from Sony. Hi, thank you for contacting Sony support. We have reviewed your case and approved the refund for the amount of $85 USD. The refund being being returned to your original method of payment. I wish there was like confirmation here of what the game was. So, while I'm still kind of speculating whether these refunds are really the case, I think, Insider Gaming, they're at least a reasonably reputable source. Guys, the only time Sony offers refunds is when situations like this happen with Cyberpunk. Sony, announced late Thursday that it would offer refunds to people who purchased Cyberpunk 2077. This is in December 18th of 2020. Basically, a catastrophe has to go down in the gaming space. Cyberpunk was the laughingstock of the gaming industry. Everyone was absolutely pissed about how broken and messed up the game was. Sony felt as though they had to address that. It is so rare when Sony actually allows refunds of their games. They actually, it's been a while since I did a return for on PlayStation, because, well, I don't really use my PlayStation as much as I used to, but I remember pre-ordering Battlefield 2042, and this was like before the release, like a while before the release. So yeah, I was that stupid. I played the beta and realized this game is absolutely broken and it's not going to be fixed at launch. I spent over an hour on the phone with PlayStation, and mind you, their their customer support system is set up in a way that if they can't confirm that you indeed haven't downloaded the game, basically they don't even want you to talk to a support representative. That's how ridiculous their support is. It's virtually non-existent. If you download the game after pre-ordering it or buying it, it's over. You're not getting a refund. They are so stern on this. It's one of the worst factors of Sony, in my personal opinion, being someone that constantly ends up returning games on, at least on Steam when they're broken, because they're at least allotted a good period of time. And unfortunately, a lot of games come out unfinished in disrespectful states to the consumer. So it is so hard to get a refund from Sony. And it's alleged that they are indeed offering refunds for Stellar Blade. And the reason for the refund, the user posted, it says they got it by using false advertising as a reason. And over the weekend, players took to social media to complain about the apparent censorship in an outfit of Eve's within the game. The outfit, a one-piece bathing suit, yeah. And people did indeed sign a petition that has over 50,000 signees right now. It's looking like it might hit 75. That's insane. So yeah, there's a lot of people that are very upset by the false advertising of Stellar Blade. That is a fact. It's the principle of the situation that is the problem. And they go on to say, despite the controversy with the game, it has reportedly sold well. Zubitech took to Twitter to show early sales returns with a belief that the game would hit 1 million copies sold in the first 24 hours, which is wild for a new IP, guys. That is insane to see. As of writing, there's been no official announcement from developer Shift Up on early sales numbers for the game. Guys, if this is indeed the case, if Sony is allowing people to return the game, I have to wonder, I have to speculate. If they deliberately sabotaged this game, if they deliberately went out of their way to tell Shift Up, you have to censor these two outfits. First off, performing the act of censorship in this game for these specific two outfits when there's other outfits that are more ridiculous, the act of doing the censorship is in fact ridiculous. There was no reason to have done it. It almost feels like it's planted. It feels like it's planted just to trigger people who were excited for this game because it goes against the grain, because it was promoted to be anti-censorship, even by the developers themselves. It almost feels like it was meant to rile the crowd up. And I have to wonder if Sony really, really wants Stellar Blade to over-succeed. I really have to question that. I think that they want Stellar Blade to do well, but not extraordinarily well. Because Stellar Blade, in fact, doing extraordinarily well sends a message to the industry. It throws essentially all the major companies under the bus, including Sony themselves. Oh, sexy female characters sell. Well, guess what? Just look at Sony's lineup of games over the past few years. We have Marvel Spider-Man 2, Mega Johns Watson, the most disgusting rendition of Mary Jane Watson we've ever seen. Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, furry, so it's null and void. The Last of Us Part 2, female characters that look like men. What else? Returnal. Middle-aged Karen. This is an industry-wide standard of making female characters look either like they're trans or androgynous, whatever you want to push, but this has become an industry-wide standard. So Stellar Blade, not just, it can't just, if you want Stellar Blade to change how the industry currently is, it can't just make a little splash. It has to make a tsunami, guys. That's what the game has to do in order to really make these companies look at this like, man, this actually matters. Like, having female characters that don't look like garbage actually matters to gamers. Oh my god, it's something that it's like, wow, you guys don't notice that? Obviously what they're doing is deliberate, mind you. I'm not stupid. But this is, if Stellar Blade does not do well or good enough, then it's just gonna disappear. It's not gonna have made an impact in any way, shape, or form. And so, while I'm not telling you guys what to do with your money, you have to consider what is the worst case scenario here. Choosing to not buy the game in protest, which I completely understand, and it's your right to do so, or returning the game, which I also understand. You shouldn't feel like you have to, buy a game in which you were lied to about, and you shouldn't feel like you have to support a game in which was false advertising. I completely understand that. But in doing so, you also have to come to the realization that people choosing to not buy the game now, and even returning the game, the projection of this game is going to lower in terms of its potential success. While the game seems to be doing well from basically what we know so far, or what is speculated thus far, it can't just do well. It has to do above that. So I think it's important for you guys to take this into account. Like I said, I'm not telling you what decision to make. I'm just asking what's more important. I think for the most part, in my personal opinion, from what I've played thus far, taking into consideration the state of gaming now, the the nonsense that's involved, purposely making female characters look blatantly disgusting for the modern audience in the West. And for Stellar Blade to get such mainstream appeal, considering the landscape of things, I think that Shift Up held as closely to their vision as they possibly could. Now it doesn't mean that I'm forgiving them for, the false advertising, it isn't perfect. But considering, I think they managed to pull it off pretty well. What they showed us, what they told us, is pretty close to what the final product is. And if you really, really need to have the uncensored version, it is in your best interest to get a physical copy of the game and ignore the patch, which I mean is kind of a slight bit annoying, but it's doable. And to continue to voice what you want. You want the outfits in the game to be changed. You want options for, more blood. All these things you could still voice. I mean, people bought Tomb Raider Remaster 1 to 3, sold pretty well from what I've heard, and then they patched in the censorship. It was addressed by the community. The devs went and said they're going to fix it. So, success there, but I think you guys really need to consider what is at stake and what is the bigger fight to be had. Like I said, not telling you guys what to do with your money, but just I'm presenting the scenarios. So let me know what you think about this. I don't know how people are going to react to this. It's going to be interesting, but if you can, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Follow me over on Twitter, Kick Me Like, to continue the conversation. Please leave your comments. I'm extremely interested to know what you think. Do you think that Sony themselves have potentially sabotaged Stellar Blade so that it does good, but not the good that we want in order to make a statement? Consider becoming a channel member, get to instant access to the Discord, get awesome Ziggy emotes, and yeah, check out my merch store. The link is in the description below, cultclassiccage.com. And with all that being said, guys, I am out. Peace.